Okay, we're ready to begin. Welcome, everybody. This is our third live student webcast for the first circle of the Circle of Friendship program by the Kids Guide to Canada and Guide to Canada. We have 3 circles going. This was the first one. We have classes from all across Canada here today on camera, and also in the audience watching, and probably from all across Canada watching after the fact. So welcome to everybody. My name is Kathy Beach. I am the National Coordinator of the Kids Guide to Canada, by kids, for kids, and I am hosting this from a snowy, cloudy day close to Peterborough, Ontario, and also hosting today is Tanis Howell, and she is also in the Peterborough area on the beautiful Canadian Shield. Hopefully you'll see all the classes in small pictures, but what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to introduce them by showing you a map of Canada that has their locations, and I'm going to introduce them first by showing you where they are. Move this up a little bit. I'm going to start at the extreme right on the Atlantic coast. The first class we have who are not here today, you're going to understand why. We have a class in Fortune Bay Academy in St. Bernard Jacques Fontaine, Newfoundland. Can you guess why they're not here today? They're still not in school. They had that huge blizzard, and I had an email from a class today in St. John's, and their schools are still closed. The next class we do have on camera today is Bel Air Elementary in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, and you can see they're giving a great big huge wave. And then we also have on camera a class from St. Thomas the Apostle School in Waterdown, Southern Ontario. Yes, there they are. They're giving you a nice wave there. And we don't have on camera today a First Nations class in Pontiac School in Wickwemcong on beautiful Manitoulin Island, but they'll be doing a webcast sometime in June if you want to see what it's like where they live. And this is the class in Englehart Public School in Englehart, Ontario. They're also having a snow day today, so they can't join us because they're all staying at home and having a nice time at home. If we travel over to Saskatchewan, we do have Ruth Pawson School in Regina with us today. And where have they gone? There they are. They're waving in their classroom. And then we also have the class at Green Timbers Elementary School in Surrey, BC. And there they are giving a big wave. And last, we have a class today in the Yukon in Whitehorse, Hidden Valley School. I'm actually interested to know if they live in a valley that's actually hidden, but they're up there. And I want to show you something. If I use the measuring tool and I click on the ruler, I can measure where Lucky, the Canada Jay, he traveled from where I live. I sent him to Regina, and then he flew to Surrey, BC, and now he's flown to Whitehorse, and you can see that he's already flown over 5,000 kilometers. And next, in February, he's going to travel all the way to Newfoundland, which will be an exciting place for us to see. And then he's going to the kids in Bel Air, Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, and they're so excited to share their place there. And then he's traveling to Ontario, to St. Thomas the Apostle, and then he's going to Manitoulin Island, to the First Nation there, and then he's going to Northern Ontario, to Englehart, and he will, if you look there, he will have traveled 12,800 kilometers. That is a huge journey for this. I'll just turn that off. That's a huge journey. And for the classes who are new to this, if you go to our actual map, where the classes are putting their communities on the map, you can click on any one of the dots and you will see a school, and you may go down to the bottom and see photographs of what their community is like. And you'll see that sometimes they'll tell you that there are more places to click through. And you take a look, our map is starting to fill up, but we really hope that other classes would like to put your community on the map. And so now that we're ready, I'm going to turn the webcast over to the class in, where have you gone? Whitehorse Yukon. And if you kids are ready, we would love to hear. I just absolutely can't wait. I'm so excited to hear from Whitehorse and to find out what Lucky has been doing there. So Whitehorse, take it away.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Whitehorse. We're really excited to be sharing our city with you. Lucky's here. He's going to come up into the screen. Can you bring him a bit closer, Aiden? He's doing really well. He's been up to all sorts of adventures with us. And we had kind of an interesting couple of weeks with Lucky. He arrived here the week we got back from our break, right at the end of the week. And the following week, when we had all sorts of activities planned with him, we dropped down to -40 for the entire week. So -40 was actually kind of the norm, and some days it was even colder. I think we got to -50 with a wind chill at our school. So we had to change some of our plans because we weren't going outside, as you can imagine. We had indoor recess and weren't doing our normal outdoor activities. So that was 1 week, and then last week it got warmer, so we were able to go out with Lucky a little bit more. But we got creative, and so instead of sharing all the things we did with Lucky, we kind of turned it around a bit and are sharing with you some of the things we would have done with him or we wish he could stay with us and do. And we're going to do that in the form of Lucky's Instagram page. We have all sorts of Instagram photos that the students have drawn because we're pretty into Instagram, as I imagine other people are. And so students have drawn some Instagram posts that they're going to share with you. So I'm just going to set that up now. And yeah, that's fine. All right. So hopefully you can see the Instagram there, and we're going to have some different students share with you a little bit about each picture. Just nice and loudly right here. Yeah.
Hi, everyone.
No, even louder right there.
Hi, everyone. I made it to Whitehorse and have been enjoying my time here. Here, I am just spending time in the beautiful forest behind Hidden Valley School. Hidden Valley School is 20 minutes outside of downtown Whitehorse, right on the edge of city limits. They are surrounded by a beautiful forest full of different types of trees, birds, and animals.
Awesome. All right, Seth, come around this way.
That's great.
All right, Olivia, come on. Let's go. Nice and loud right here.
Here I am on the Yukon River. The Yukon River runs through Whitehorse and very close to Hidden Valley School. We can hike to it in about 30 minutes. In the winter, many selections of the Yukon River freeze, and so people like to walk, skate, or run dogs on it.
Nice. Okay, come on over this way. Ready to cast? Nice and loud.
Here I am fat biking on one of the many trails in the Hidden Valley area. There's a big mountain biking community in Whitehorse and so many snowy winter months. Fat biking has become really popular in the past couple years.
What is the first part of biking that you're saying?
Fat biking.
So,
So, yeah, basically a mountain bike with really big tires so that you can go over snow.
Fat biking in the snow. Okay.
Yeah, sometimes people call it snow biking too, but up here we call it fat biking because it's there's big fat tires.
All right.
Nice and loud.
Here I am watching.
It's gonna have to be like 10 times louder, okay? Right here.
Here I am watching the beautiful northern lights, the aurora borealis. In the winter, many of the students in our classes see these lights from their homes in the Hidden Valley area. They can be green, blue, purple, and are best when it's really cold outside.
Nice.
Here are a few pictures of me at Mount Sema. Mount Sema is a Whitehorse's downhill ski hill. Lots of students here love downhill skiing. Last week, they got lots of snow and everyone is really excited to go.
are you ready? Come on up, nice and loud where I am.
Here I am doing a cold weather experiment with Miss Weber's class. Did you know that if you throw boiling water into the air at -40, it instantly freezes? We tested this one out one of the weeks I was here when it was -40 or colder every day.
Here's something I'd like to do if I could stay a bit longer. The Yukon Quest. The Yukon Quest is a 1,000-mile dog sled race from Whitehorse Yukon to Fairbanks, Alaska. It's really fun for students to track and cheer on all the teams each year.
And you have just frozen. We'll have to just wait until they come back. You know, the signal has to come from the Yukon to here. It has to go out into space and then come back down again. And I wonder if there they are. Do you know that you were just frozen?
We did see an unstable connection, but it's gone now.
Yep.
Can you hear us okay?
We didn't miss anything, right?
All right. Start again, Oliver.
Here's another thing I wish I could stay and do. Drive a snowmobile on a bison hunt. Each year, the class I am with goes out on a week-long bison hunt. Last year, they harvested a male bison that was over 2,000 pounds. Students get to ride on snowmobiles in the mountains and participate in every part of the hunt, from finding the bison to butchering it.
And will your class be doing that?
Yes.
Oh.
On March 9th to 13th.
I wonder maybe, I think people are going to be so interested in it. I wonder if you'll come back and give us another report after the bison hunt. That would be awesome. I wish I could go with you. I bet a lot of people would like to go too.
Yeah, we'd love to have some more people with us. All right, here's our last photo.
Lastly, I'm here cross-country skiing. Last week, the students here were practicing skiing outside in the field behind their school. There are lots of cross-country ski trails around Hidden Valley and in Whitehorse. This afternoon, we are going to the local ski area, Mount Mac, to ski on their beautiful trails.
You're going to get to go to ski as part of school? Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Is that the last of your pictures?
That is, yeah. So I'll bring the class back into view here now. And we're ready to answer some questions if people have them.
So I'm going to turn to the classes who are in our circle. I'm going to give you a first chance to ask questions. So if you put your hand up, I will watch to see if there's someone I can see in Waterdown. There's a couple of hands up. How about we go to change out of here, okay, and Waterdown. Would you like to ask a couple of questions?
How cold does it get there?
Yukon? You're going to have to come up to the computer to answer so we can hear you.
Maybe introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Caleb. It gets about -40, but with the wind chill, they could get to -50.
How cold is it today?
It is -25.
Today.
And what's the point where you stop going out? What's the temperature where it's too cold to go out?
30.
-30.
-30.
So up to -30, you still go outside?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys live in a different place. Okay, back to the kids who are in the audience. I know Waterdown, I'm going to go back to you because I know there was another question there.
What did you do during those hours? Was it fun?
Did you have fun doing the activity with Lucky?
Whitehorse?
We're just getting Sophie to come up here to answer your question.
Well, we only got to do a few because it was so cold, but yeah, we did have fun doing some of the activities that we did.
if you had your choice, what would you, and the temperature was fine, what would you want to do first with Lucky now if you had more time?
Probably going downhill skiing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
Downhill
really
skiing. Yep, that's cool. Okay, let's go to some of the other classes. Surrey, BC, is there anyone in your class that has a question?
Yeah. How many snow days have you had this year?
My name is Cadence, and I'm in grade 7, and actually we don't have snow days. There is no such thing as snow days in Whitehorse.
So if it's a blizzard, how do you get to school?
We just still go to school. We've had some blizzards, but other than that, we don't have snow days.
The Whitehorse is probably different than some of the other schools there. We get snow, and we've gotten a lot in the past week, but we don't tend to get as much snow as some other places. I know that the East Coast is getting some big blizzards right now. Because of where we are, we don't get a ton of snow. It just gets more cold here than anything, and schools stay open when it's cold because they're often a warm, safe place for people to be. So yeah, we haven't had any snow days, and I can't remember any time in the past 10 years when we've had a snow day.
That's crazy when we have two schools right in our own circle who aren't able to be here today because they're on a snow day. I'm going to unmute. Tanis, you have said that you have found some questions from the audience in the live YouTube chat.
I have. Excuse me. I've got some questions from Ms. Winevsky's class, Sunset Heights Public School in Oshawa, and they're asking about all the colors that you would see with northern lights.
Oh, that's a good question. What color are they? Anyone?
Sorry, we're just finding a volunteer to answer the question. Olivia H., come on up here and describe them. So just right here. So the question was, what colors do you see in the northern lights? Can you describe the northern lights or aurora borealis?
The colors that we usually get is green, pink, blue, purple.
Purple? Purple? And you're all nodding like that's a normal thing. How often do you see northern lights? Like, is there a certain time of year that they come out, or is it kind of all year, or?
So Eric's coming up to talk a little bit more about them.
My name's Eric, and I'm in grade 7, and it really depends on how clear the sky is and how dark it is.
And how cold.
And cold.
So is there something where you kids know it's going to be a good night tonight? Like, what would that be that you'd say to yourself, I know it's going to be a good night for Northern Lights tonight?
When it's really cold and the sky is really clear.
And is it year round?
Just in the winter and fall a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, it's mostly during the fall and winter because those are the darkest months. In the summer, we have almost 24 hours of daylight, so it can be really difficult to see the lights because there's no contrast.
Right.
So Tanis, you said you had another question?
We do. I've got a few more questions. I've got a question from Mr. Pudio's class in Neepawa, Manitoba, asking how warm does it get in the summertime?
So let's have someone different take that. Jacqueline, you want to take it? Sure. Great. All right, here comes Jacqueline to talk about the summer in the Yukon. This is a bit of a secret. Sometimes we don't share this with people because we don't want people to know how nice it is in the Yukon.
In summer, it gets above 30-ish. Yeah, it's really nice here. There's lots of animals, and it's really nice to be here in the summer.
Yeah, tell them about the daylight. What are the daylight hours? Like, how much sunlight do we have in the summer? So our sunlight is quite extreme in the summer months. On the solstice, which is June 21st, we have almost 24 hours of light. If you go further north to communities in the Yukon, like Dawson, they would definitely have 24 hours. It gets kind of dusky between 11 and 2 in the morning. But other than that, it's pretty much full light. So lots of sun and lots of light and lots of fun.
So one quick question, Tanis has a few more. On that note, when did the sun come up this morning?
Oh gosh. It's like just coming up right now.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're 10 o'clock right now, and you can see out the window we have light. The sun probably came up around 9:45, around 10, and we're getting a lot of light back. It's feeling good because it's not as dark. Normally, earlier in December, it would still have been dark now.
Dark at 10 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then what time does it get dark in the afternoon today?
Like 4 o'clock.
So you're having light from 10 o'clock till 4 o'clock?
Right. Till 4:56 it says.
Oh, till 5 o'clock. Well, still, that's not a very long daylight. Tanis, I know you have two more questions. We'll take those.
Great. I do from Ms. Davies' grade 3-4 class in Montague Public School in Smith Falls, Ontario. And they are asking how many students are in your school and what grades are in your school.
Okay, here comes Linnea to talk about our school size and grades.
In our school there is 150 something students, and in my grade there's 7 students, and yeah, I'm in
There's 7 grade 7 students.
7 grade 6 students.
Oh, grade 6 students, right.
And 12 grade 7.
Okay. Tanis, thank you. Are there any other questions there, Tanis, in the live chat?
One last question from Ms. Davies' class, again from Montague Public School in Smith Falls, asking what traditions do you celebrate in your school and community?
Okay, here comes Declan. He's going to tell you about one special Yukon tradition and holiday we have coming up in February.
We have Rendezvous coming up, and it's pretty special. We do all different kinds of activities such as snowshoeing. I think we did skiing one year.
So what does Rendezvous celebrate? Do you remember?
French.
Well, so some French culture, because we have lots of Francophone, Yukon Francophone people here, but overall it's a celebration of Yukon culture. Yeah, it's kind of our Yukon festival. So that's a special one. And it kind of coincides with Family Day. And we have a Heritage Day, we call it here.
That's great. So I know we haven't had a chance. If I go to Regina, did you have a chance to ask a question, Regina? No, because I know we're out of time, but if classes have to go, thank you very much for coming. But I do want to give the kids in the circle a chance to ask questions. So Regina, are there questions that you would like to ask?
We have one question. So do you want to come right close and ask the question that wasn't answered yet? So Vic, you can ask the question.
In Whitehorse, do you guys have a beach in the summer?
What's the answer to that?
We just got a student from the back. Jake's just coming up to tell you about, I think, one of his favorite places, Carcross, where there's a little known beach and lots of mountain biking. Come on, just describe Carcross and the beach. Right here, Jake. Right in front. They gotta see you. There he is. Talk right into the camera.
It's pretty sandy.
So describe the beach in Carcross. What does it look like?
I don't know.
Is it big? Does it look like a normal beach?
It's not. There's not a lot of beach compared to like.
Is it a beach for swimming or a beach for doing other things? Is it on a river, a lake, or what?
It's a lake. It's
okay.
Cold some days.
I was wondering, is it warm enough to go swimming in the Whitehorse area?
Yeah, but after a while it gets pretty cold, and it's pretty good after mountain biking on the mountain there.
So you go mountain biking first and then you come down for a dip to cool off. That would be fun.
And the beach that Jake is talking about is on Bennett Lake, and it's in front of Bennett mountain, in a bigger mountain range that goes towards Alaska. And it's been voted one of the most beautiful beaches in Canada. So we have that about an hour away from us.
Oh, I can see a lot of kids are going to be asking their parents to go on a trip to Whitehorse. I'm going to go to Dartmouth right now because they haven't had a chance to ask any questions.
Just get close and ask, okay? Really close. Loud.
How hot does it get in the summer?
Okay.
Yeah.
Back to Whitehorse. How hot in the summer?
Yeah, they did 30.
Ask for how cold.
Nope.
Hi, my name's Aiden, and in the summer it gets to 20 to 30 degrees.
And is that typical, like in the summer in July, August? So you have the summer same as the rest of Canada then?
Yeah.
You just have a freezing winter. It's really kind of curious that you have such a change in light. Actually, you know what? I guess because you get so much light in the summer, maybe that's the reason why it gets so warm.
That's right. The days are very long, so there's lots of time for things to warm up. And we have the same summer months off, but it does get colder earlier. So our summer months are really more June and July. And by August, it's really starting to kind of turn into fall. So we'll be off on June 14th this year.
Oh.
So a little bit earlier than most schools in Canada because we want to take advantage of those summer months.
You know, the questions are starting to fly now, and that's usually what happens. We just start to get going and our time is up. We're 10 minutes over already. There is one question from Waterdown, and I would like to know this, and then I have a follow-up question that might answer some of the other questions. First, what type of animals do you see around Whitehorse? Waterdown asked that question.
All right, here comes Cassidy.
You see lots of foxes around.
Yeah.
Coyotes sometimes, lynx, bears, moose.
Go back to the bears part. You see bears?
Yeah. Grizzly and black bears.
What did you say first?
Grizzly bears and black bears.
So you actually see grizzly bears?
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly.
Where do you see a grizzly bear?
Mostly from the side of the road.
Wow. And do the grizzly bears cause problems? Human problems?
Yeah, they can, yeah.
Like I wouldn't want to meet one on a road. So here's my question. I think that you kids are so interesting that if you go on your bison hunt, would you really be willing to come back and tell us about the bison hunt when it's done and do another special webcast just about that?
Yeah.
That would be so cool to see that. And then I know that some of the questions people are asking who haven't had a chance, then they would have chances then. And we might even tell people it's going to be a half an hour. So I know we've gone over. So
yeah, we'd be happy to do that, Kathy.
Yes, that's so interesting. So to the classes in the audience on YouTube Live, I hope you've heard that we'll let you know when they come back and they've gone on their bison hunt and they actually have some pictures and some of their experiences to share. And to the classes in Dartmouth and Regina and Surrey, BC and Waterdown, thank you so much for coming. And I know that to the classes who are in the circle who weren't able to come here today, you'll be watching this after the fact. And to you kids in Whitehorse, thank you so much. It's so interesting to hear from you. And it's so exciting to be talking to thousands of kilometers away and have people on the west coast of Pacific Ocean and people on the Atlantic Ocean and people now in the Arctic and people in southern parts of Canada all talking to each other. That is so cool. So thank you so much for doing that. And thank you, Tanis, for helping to host. If everybody gives a good wave, I'm going to end the meeting and we'll see you again. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Whitehorse.